There were a lot of Democrats who worried that Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, ran a campaign in 2020 that was, shall we say, lackluster. She won nonetheless, but she won, I think it's also fair to say, because her opponent, Republican Carrie Lake, was a little bit nuts and anti-democracy. She was a big election liar. Is that the card that Joe Biden is playing?
And that same Carrie Lake, by the way, is about to announce a candidacy for Senate next year, even though she still says she was robbed last year, or 2020, which she was not. So Arizona is your laboratory of democracy. So it's the right place to give this speech. You make a great point, and I think Scott makes a great point. Why did Arizona go for the Democrats? Narrowly for governor, narrowly for Joe Biden. Because swing voters, I don't even know if you can call them the middle anymore, but swing voters decided no, enough of Donald Trump and enough of that crazy stuff. And they went for the Democrats in that election.
Except the one Republican that won statewide was the treasurer,
yes,
who was not an election liar.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So can Biden wants to make the case normal adult leadership, and he also wants to make the case. Let's be honest. Arlette touched on this. That I hope when you get to next November, you remember there might be bigger things than your anxiety about inflation. There might be bigger things than your doubts about my age or my stamina to do a second term. He's the incumbent this time. That's what makes it so different than 2020. Trump was the incumbent in the middle of the pandemic. Now Joe Biden's the incumbent in the middle of what people still believe. I know the White House has all these statistics, and they're right. There are some great economic statistics right now. People still feel inflation. Mortgage rates went up again today. Gas prices are going up again today. The election's not for 403 days. The president has time. But he's trying to talk to the 75,000 voters in Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin who have decided the last two presidential elections and say, look, you might be mad at me. You might still be tired from the coronavirus and from inflation and everything else. This is a bigger threat. This is a bigger. Can you make that case? That's the challenge of the next 400 days.
Everyone stay with us. We're standing by for President Biden's speech about democracy. You're watching CNN special coverage of this address. We're going to squeeze in a quick break. We'll be right back.
Want Bitcoin exposure right in your brokerage account? Get it with single GBTC. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the world's largest Bitcoin fund. GBTC. Bitcoin investing begins here.
This is American infrastructure. Megawatts of power, rails and open road, and essential services of every kind, all running on countless invisible networks, making it a prime target for cyber attacks. But the same AI-powered security that protects all of Google also defends the systems running America's infrastructure for these services, for the 336 million of us living here.
I'm Patriotic Kenny.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
My scooter broke down. I went into a depression.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty sad.
And I posted it to show that Ken is not always happy. Within 24 hours, people had donated over $5,000.
Oh, you're kidding.
We set up the Patriotic Kenny Foundation to give mobility scooters to veterans.
It has changed my life tremendously.
None of this would have happened without TikTok.
Cracked windshield on your new car? You don't have to take it to the dealer. Bring it to SafeLight. We do more replacements and recalibrations than anyone else. Schedule now.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
My name is Sema. My house floats on top of the water.